Hi everyone, welcome back. So this is our joint freeing sequence and we're into part 2. So we've worked through the spine, shoulders, arms, wrists, neck. So we're moving down towards the hips, a little bit more work through the spine as well, and the legs and the feet. Okay, so we're going to begin in tabletop pose. So we want to make sure that the hands are underneath the shoulders and that the knees are underneath the hips. And you can tuck your toes under if you feel comfortable with that, stretch them out a little bit. Otherwise, just let the feet relax down. So we're coming into this position and we're just engaging a little bit through the core. So you need to notice if you're hanging in the lower back a little bit perhaps. So just draw the navel in so that we just tuck the lower ribs in towards the pelvis slightly. Not too harsh, but just enough that you feel that you're holding. And just lifting a little bit out of the shoulders. It may feel comfortable for others to just sort of drop down a little bit. So let's just do a bit of movement there first. So we're dropping down, sort of hunching the shoulders, or shrugging the shoulders, and then we're going to lift up a little bit. So it's not a cat stretch, it's just dropping down through the shoulders. So let's just see how that feels a couple of times. Try and keep the head level. So your head level with your shoulders, so it's not dropping down. And then you want to find that space in between that feels good, feels supported, feels steady. Okay, and so we'll begin those cat stretches. So we're going to start by moving into cat stretch. So we're tucking the tailbone under, we're rounding from the lower back, the mid back, upper back, chin might want to come into the chest. And then we're coming through that tabletop position. We're still engaging slightly through the core, and we're just seeing how it feels in the lower back to maybe dip a little bit, but we're letting the heart centre drop down, and maybe the head lifts, maybe we look ahead. So just moving between those two. Let's breathe out. We're pushing a little bit into the floor, so we're starting to work on strength through the arms and the shoulders and the wrists. And we're taking a breath in, and we're letting gently the heart centre dip down. So for some of us, this may just be a very small range of movement. Today, if the spine feels a little bit tight, or the hips, the shoulders feel tight, there may only be a small range of movement, which is fine. It's a range of movement, and it's what's suitable for you. So we're not trying to push and force it to look a certain way. We just want to feel into that movement. So just keep it going with the breath. And seeing if you can kind of ripple the movement from the pelvis all the way to the head, so the head moves last. So you tuck the tailbone under, around the back, and then the head just follows. So we're not dropping, we're not hoiking and lifting. It's all nice and steady and controlled. And this is just such a lovely movement once we've got it right. We don't have to lock the elbows, we can keep the softness there. Just sense through the shoulders. Good. Let's do one more. Rounding and then gently dipping. Rounding on the out breath. Draw the navel into the spine and then heart centre forwards on the in breath. And then just settle in that halfway space once again. And we're just going to do a little bit of movement again for the wrists. So we're just seeing if we can bring the fingers in towards each other. And we're just going to gently rock side to side. And again, it doesn't have to be a massive movement. For some, if the wrists feel tight, it may limit your movement, but we're getting some movement there. Even if it's not movement, it's an intention of feeling into the wrists and noticing, practicing that awareness. So even just turning the fingertips in and not moving may be enough, again, for some of us. Good, so just a few movements, rocking side to side. We're going to bring the fingertips in, and we're just going to take them out a little bit. And again, it might be only slightly out to the side of the mat, but for some of us, if we can bring the fingers in, then that's okay here. Good. If this feels too tight, bring the hands in a little bit closer. Okay. So we can do a movement forwards and back to that neutral space. Some of you may be able to take it a little bit further back, but let's just play around with that space. So there's a gentle awareness of the breath coming and going. It may coordinate with the movement. It may feel nicer to go forwards than it is to come back, because that is quite a tight space. Again, it is for me, but for others it may not. May feel that you want to take it a bit further. Good. Okay, let's release that slowly, slowly, slowly. And then we're going to just settle back. So you might want to take your knees a bit wider, big toes together, and just let the hips sink back. See how that feels? Let's come onto the elbows. And maybe just letting the head release. So it's a sort of supported semi-child pose. Taking some breaths in and out here. In through the nose, maybe out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then let's come back up to that all fours position. Bring the knees in. The hands again are underneath the shoulders. Okay, so we're just going to move into the hips a little bit here. So we're going to extend the right leg back behind. And we're going to push the toes down, reach the heel back. Good. And then our next movement, we can let the toes point and we're going to bring the knee in towards the chest. And we let the back round a little bit and we can let the head come forwards. So with the breath, you're going to take an in-breath and just reach the heel back no higher than the hips. Try and keep the hips nice and steady. Breathe out, bring the knee in. And again, a couple more. Breathing in, pushing back. Breathing out, knee comes in. And again, one more. Breathing out. Good. And then bring the knee down. Good. Come back to that tabletop position. Engage a little bit through the core still, not forgetting that, keeping that engaged. Let's take the left leg back and working in the same way. So we don't want this, we don't want to turn the hip out. We want to keep the toes pointing down and the hips level. Next movement, bring the knee in. You can point the toes away, maybe draw the nose to the knee. And then keep it going. Breathe in, so you push the heel back. Breathe out, knee in. Breathe in, pushing back. Breathe out, knee comes in. We can round the back and push a little bit into the hands. And again, breathe in, push back, and breathe out. Good, let's do one more. Last one, breathing in, lengthening, breathing out. Rounding the back. And then the knee comes down and we take it back to that tabletop position again. Good. So again, we're going to take the knees wide, big toes together. We're going to come all the way down here. Again, you're welcome to come back to that position with the elbows down. If that just feels more supported, just release your head for the next few breaths. If you feel comfortable taking your hands a little bit further forward, maybe take them wide to the edge of the mat. And just letting the forehead drop gently down to the mat. There's a little bit of effort through the arms here. We can extend forwards. We can even come up onto the palms and push the fingertips into the mat if that feels okay. Let the heart centre just drop down towards the mat as you take some nice soothing breaths here. Good. So if you've lifted the palms, just let them come down. And then slowly come back to all fours, bring the knees in. And the hands underneath the shoulders. So our last movement, we're going to combine those two. We're going to move from cat pose to child pose. So keeping the knees hip distance. So we're going to take an in-breath and we're just going to lengthen the front of the body. Heart centre dips down. And then the out-breath, we're sinking back to the elbows. So keeping that going, breathing in, heart centre forwards. Maybe it's a little bit of a dip through the lower back, if that feels okay, if it's supported. Breathing out, easing back so the tailbone tucks under. If you'd rather come back to your cat stretches, staying to all fours, you're welcome to stay with that. Again, tune into what feels suitable for your body. Gentle awareness of your breath. And just finding a gentle rhythm. Let's do a few more of these now. Easing back, gentle with the knees, so you can take a little bit of weight into the elbows. We don't have to go all the way back, we can go part way back. Breathing in. Breathing out. And one more. Breathing in. And breathing out. Releasing back. Good. We're just going to come to kneeling just briefly so that we can bring the feet out in front for our next set of movements. Good. Okay, so from here, coming into a seated position, again you can sit up onto a cushion if you prefer here for these sets of movements. So that just helps you elevate the spine comfortably as well if we're around the back a little bit. Or another option is to bend the knee slightly, but we're going to focus on the feet. You can actually take the hands behind you and lean into that just slightly as well, which I'm going to do. So we're going to focus on the feet. So we're going to point the toes forwards, nice and simple, and then bring the toes towards us. Might be clicks and pops here. We'll take the toes forwards and the toes back. So we're feeling this through the legs as well as the ankles. And again, it may only be a slight range of movement. Again, this is fine. It's our range of movement, so it'll be different for each of us. Okay. And then something a little bit more we need to think about. We're going to just work on that sort of dorsal flexion of the feet in and out. So we're going to see if we can bring the tops of the feet, the big toes together, and then we're going to see if we can bring the soles of the feet together. So just swapping between those two. It's not always easy to bring the backs of the feet together. It may feel easier to bring the soles of the feet together, almost the prayer position with the feet, and then that opposite. Good. Concentrating. But let the face relax. Good. Let's do one more. Toes point in, soles of the feet in, and the soles of the feet are out. Good. Okay. And then we're just going to circle the ankles. Again, there may be lots of clicks and pops here, noises, crunching sensations, or that's just me. Actually, it just feels nice. Good. Okay. So you can do a few different directions, a few times. You can do that for as long as you like. Good. Okay, take a moment, just sense the ankles. And so our next set of movements is going to work into the knee joint, a little bit into the glutes as well. So we're still sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to just hold on to the back of the leg. And we're going to take an in-breath and bring that knee in. And then on an out-breath, we're going to extend the leg up. So it's off the floor. An in-breath, bring it in. And an out-breath, reach it out. And you might want to point the heel away. Another option is to squeeze that knee or leg in a little bit as well, the lower leg. So just change position with the hands. Breath. Good. We're also working into the hip flexors at the top here as well when we hold the leg off the floor. If that's too much, bring the leg down to the floor for a moment, but still bring the toes towards you. Good, so you still get that lifting movement in. Good. Okay. Lower the leg down. Take a moment. And then we're going to swap with the legs. So we're going to hold on around the back of the thigh, just above the knee. Inhale, bring the knee in. Exhale, legs off the floor and the toes towards you. Breathe in. breathe out to extend. Breathe in, and again you might want to, the knee feels okay, there's no issues in your knee, you might just want to bring that lower leg in a little bit closer. Just an option, just an invitation, as I say, to explore. If you find you don't want to carry on doing that, don't have to. Just stay holding on to the back of the leg. Breathing in, try and keep the spine lifting as best you can. We're not leaning back too much, but we're focusing on the hip joints, the knees, the ankles. Good. One more. Just bring the knee in, breathing in, and breathing out, reaching away. Good. And lower the leg down. Good. Okay, then we're going to take the feet wide. So we're still sitting tall, we're still focusing on the feet and the positioning of the feet. So we can lean this one back a little bit for a bit of support through the arms. So we're going to first then turn the toes out, breathing in, and then breathing out, bring the toes in. Good, breathing in, the legs just roll away, breathing out. Breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in, and breathing out. One more, breathing in, and breathing out. Good. And you might want to just lift the legs and bring them back in. So that's our joint freeing sequence, part 2. So you can join part 1 and part 2, do the whole body, or if there's particular areas you want to focus on, just stay with part 1, practice that as many times as you wish every day, or you just want to work through the spine and the lower body, practice that one every day. You're welcome. Thank you.